You want to write a manifesto? Great. It's a powerful way to create your future and possibly the future of those around you as well. There are 4 main ways to write a manifesto because there's 4 types of manifestos. But which one is the best for you? This depends on what you want to create, and it depends on who you want to join in with you to make it happen. If you pick the right one, you'll gain a lot of motivation and inspiration from it. And if you pick the wrong one, well, maybe you won't get the result you want. Our first type of manifesto is a goal. And you might be thinking, goals? Is a goal a manifesto? To answer that, we can look at the definition of a manifesto. A manifesto is a public declaration of your intent. Your intention's a goal, right? I want to have this, I want to make this happen. That's a goal. A goal could be personal. For instance, on New Year's Eve, you might make a resolution to say, I'm going to quit my job, I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to swim the English Channel. A goal can also be a community or global intention. One of my favourite examples is JFK sending a man to the moon. That required the full attention of the entire country to pull that off within the decade that he wanted. Or it might be to end poverty, ban nuclear weapons, or save endangered species. If you have a single, strong and clear objective that you want to achieve, then a goal manifesto might be the right one for you. Our second type of manifesto is our list. Essentially, this is a lot of single goals put together on the one agenda. A popular example of this is a bucket list. These are the things you want to do in your life before you kick the bucket. In some countries like Nigeria, the UK and Malaysia, the politicians in the run-up to the election deliver a manifesto as the list of promises they're going to deliver on if they're elected into the parliament. A list manifesto is perfect if you have a series of related goals that you want to accomplish. Our third type of manifesto, and the third way to create or write your manifesto, is a rules-based manifesto. And it has 2 parts. First, you're defining a context, a place or a situation. And the second is how you're going to behave or act in that situation. The archetype for a rules-based manifesto comes from the Bible. It's the 10 Commandments. The story goes that Moses met up with Jesus, possibly for a beer after work, and God gave him a set of instructions in the form of a stone tablet and said, if you want to be a good Christian, here's the 10 things, the 10 commandments you must follow. So if you want to live true to the Christian faith, which is the context here, then you want to follow the rules of don't steal things, don't kill things, don't take the Lord's name in vain, and so forth. Lots of corporates use values as a way to describe how they want their employees to behave while working in that organisation. That's a manifesto, even though they probably don't call it that. And for me, my big use of a rule-based manifesto is when I work with my thought leadership clients to either create their big idea or to write a book or create a presentation. The rule-based manifesto sets the context that they're operating in, whether it's leadership or sales or marketing, and then they define how do you succeed or be successful operating in that area. A classic example of this is Stephen Covey's fantastic book, 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. In the domain or the context of being effective, he says these are the 7 things you need to be doing. The big difference between a list manifesto and a rules-based manifesto is that the list is really just a set of outcomes, a set of what's, whereas the rule-based one talks about behaviours, which is the how you're going to act. If you're going to define what your goals are, then choose a list manifesto. But if you're going to define how you're going to behave or act, then you want a rules-based manifesto. The fourth type of manifesto is a world manifesto. And in simple terms, you're using the manifesto to describe how you want the world to be. And my favourite example here is Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. In that speech, he describes the world he would like to live in, the world he wants to see when there is an end to racism.
That my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
While our world manifesto is a little bit trickier to actually create, it's way more powerful for complex situations, like Martin Luther King's End Racism. If he'd simply stood up there and said, "Let's stop racism," no one really would have listened to him. And it most definitely wouldn't have had the same impact as his "I Have a Dream" speech. There you have the 4 ways to write a manifesto based on the 4 types of manifestos. The big lesson to remember here is that everything starts with a manifesto. It starts with you declaring your intention. And it's remembering that you have the power right here. You have the power in your heart and in your voice to speak your truth or the world that you want to live in. And while you might want to change the world, I suggest you start relatively small here. By all means, start with a big goal, but speak it to friendly people or supportive people to get their feedback on it before you move forward and share it with a wider audience. In this way, you can grow and refine and develop your manifesto as you share it with more people and get more feedback. And if you want some more inspiration around creating a manifesto, check out the video, The Top 10 Manifestos of All Time. Plus, there are over 250 examples of manifestos over at 1000manifestos.com. And if you have any questions around this or you need some coaching around creating your manifesto, then add a comment below and I'll give you my best answer. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.